Hey, what's up, guys? Back here for another little video. If you don't know, my name's Shane. I'm married to a Filipina. Been in the Philippines be 2 years in August, so however long that is. Today I want to make a video of some of the things that I don't like about the Philippines. First of all, let me just say overall the Philippines is great. I like being here. People are kind and smiling and all that. But there are some things that kind of, being from the United States irritates me a little bit, I guess. One of those things, you might say number one, is the lack of punctuality. Let me just give you an example. I'll give you two examples. Just took my wife to church. Church starts at 10. We left about 20 after 10. But that being said, that doesn't mean that church necessarily is going to start at 10, even though that's when it's supposed to start. It may start at 10:30. Who knows? It'll start whenever, I guess. That's just one of the things of living in the Philippines. Lack of punctuality, coming from America, coming from the military. My dad was 26 years in the Army. He always said, if you're on time, you're late. If you're early, you're on time. You never show up right on time. You always show up early. You leave early. In fact, he drilled it in our heads, drilled it in our heads that we need to leave early enough from the house that if we have a flat, we'll have time to change that flat tire and still make it to wherever we're going on time. That's just how it was. That's who he is. He's passed away now, but loved him to death. Still love him, miss him every day. Think about him all the time. Another example of that same thing. Hang on just a second. We'll give me a quick drink. We had a excuse me, frog in my throat. We had an appointment at I can't remember where it was at, LTO or somewhere. I can't remember, but it was for like 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. Showed up at 1. We showed up at 1 after lunch, after their lunch, and the thought process is, as long as you make the appointment for that day, you can come whenever you want to. Told my wife, I said, that's not how it works in America. If you make an appointment at 10 o'clock, and if you're not there at 10 o'clock, you're not going to have an appointment anymore. I mean, if you're going to the doctor, you may be able to sit there and they might be able to work you in, eventually, if they're not too busy. But if your appointment's at 10 o'clock, you need to be there at 9:30, to fill out the paperwork and blah, blah, blah. So that's one of the things that I do not like about the Philippines is lack of punctuality. It's just kind of a do whatever, show up whenever you want to. I could give you another example, if we're having a birthday party here and say we're going to eat at 6 o'clock in the evening, people may not show up till 7:30. It's just how it is. So we sit here and wait until they get here for the birthday party. So that's number one, lack of punctuality. Number two is driving. But let me be more specific. Driving during the daytime is okay. It's great. It's whatever. It's wonderful. Driving at night, on the other hand, is a whole other ball game. And the only reason is because here in Dipolog and probably everywhere in the Philippines, you have people driving their motorbikes at night with no headlights. And so therefore, if you're behind somebody slow and you go to pass, then you have to be really careful because there may be somebody coming that doesn't have their headlights on. Not that their headlight doesn't work, they just don't have it on for whatever reason. And secondly is taillights. You they may or may not have taillights that work, and so when you're going down the road and you're coming, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh crap, there's a motorbike right there that I didn't see because there was no taillights. Even if they have their headlights on, a lot of times it's so dim, if you're behind them, you can't see it. And sometimes you see them, they don't have a headlight, and so they're going down the road holding their flashlight up, or not their flashlight, their cell phone up as their headlight, trying to see the road to go down the road. And this is on the highway. This is not just on the back roads, it's on the highways as well. So driving at night is certainly a challenge, and you have to be careful if you drive at night. I told my wife, I said, when it gets dark, I turn into a pumpkin because I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to drive at night. Because just for that fact, because they may or may not have headlights and may or may not have taillights. And it's just hard to tell if somebody's coming or you're meeting somebody or whatever. Not to mention that the paint on the roads in a lot of places, you can't tell what side of the road you're on really. If the traffic's not coming right directly head on, I'm assuming that I'm in my lane, but I could be wrong. I may be over in the right-hand lane. And another thing about driving is the motor cabs, the little three-wheeled taxi motorcycles. It's a motorcycle with a sidecar attached, welded to the motorcycle. It's not really a motorcycle, it's a scooter. But those little dudes, you'll be behind one, and they may be you're in the left-hand lane, close to the center line, and they're in the right-hand lane, and they may, without any warning, without any signal, without anything, they may whip right in front of you to do a U-turn. I tell my wife all the time, I hate them little motor cabs because they just think they own the road, and then they drive down the middle of the road, taking up both lanes, so you can't go around them. So you have to honk your horn and try to get them to move over so you can go around them, because they drive like 15 or 20 kilometers an hour, and that's like 10 miles an hour or something. They go like really slow. And I understand, because they're trying to pick up a fare, trying to make sure they don't miss somebody that needs a ride. I understand that, but you stay in your lane. You stay in your lane, let me go by. So that's another thing that I do not like about the Philippines, that you have to deal with if you're coming here. Another thing is it's hard to get a straight answer from anybody. As an American, especially coming, Dad being in the military, and then I was in the military, and we're direct, we're straight to the point, speak what's on our mind. That's just how it is. But if you ask a Filipino here something, especially somebody in the family, like say my wife or sister-in-law or whatever, they beat around the bush. They don't give you the direct answer. It's like, well, take for an example, hey honey, what do you want to eat for lunch? I don't know, it's up to you. Well, not really. It's not really up to me, because she knows that I am not picky. I don't, it doesn't matter to me. I'll eat whatever. But it's just trying to get a straight answer from her. And from any of them, got neighbors walking by. They always look in the window to see what we're doing. So just wave at them. Hey. But even in the stores, if I need help with something and there's like a group of people, usually it's women. You don't see very many men working in the stores unless it's carrying out groceries or it's in an electronics store or something like that. But but like the department store. I needed help finding something one time, and there was a group of women over there. Just talking away amongst themselves, and I'm looking around trying to find what it is I'm looking for, and I can't find it. So I'm like, well, I'll just go ask them, because they can point me in the right direction, and I ain't got to sit there and look around and all that. So I walk over there and I get almost to them, and one turns and sees me coming, and they scatter like a bunch of flies or something. It's like they was gone. They didn't want no part of it. So, and it's because I'm a foreigner. It's not that they cannot speak English. It's just that they're afraid to speak English. They're afraid they're going to mess it up. Which I'm from Arkansas, so you hear how I talk, so it don't matter. As long as they can get their point across, that's fine with me. But that's how a lot of them are, is they don't want to speak to a foreigner. It's not that they're afraid of the foreigner or anything like that. They're just afraid that they're going to mess their English up, and they don't want to do that. They don't want to embarrass themselves, which I understand. It's no biggie. So I ended up finding my wife where she was at in the department store, and we went and looked for whatever. I don't even remember what it was, but whatever it was I was looking for, we went and looked for it, and maybe we found it. I can't remember. But anyway, 3 of the things that I don't like about the Philippines: the not punctual, driving at night because of no headlights and no taillights, and really can't get a straight answer most of the time. They just beat around the bush. So hey, if you're still here at the end, I want to ask you to please like and subscribe. You can see I'm a new YouTuber, not trying to make any money or anything like that. I got a good pension, just trying to get my story out there and how things are going over here. So please like and subscribe, and I appreciate you watching, and peace out.